Leo's wrench slipped from his oil-stained fingers, clattering against the metal floor of his workshop. The sound echoed through the converted cargo bay that had become his home, his refuge, his prison of memories. 3 years. 3 years since the Conjunction War had taken everything from him. The holographic display above his workbench flickered, showing the schematics of a Varix-class engine he was supposed to repair. But his eyes weren't seeing the diagrams. They were seeing her, Zira, his wife, with her luminescent blue skin and those impossibly kind eyes that had somehow seen past the rough edges of a human mechanic working in the outer colonies. Everyone had said it wouldn't work. Humans and Xython didn't mix, they'd whispered. The biology was too different. The cultures too alien. But love, Leo had learned, didn't care about chromosomes or cultural protocols. Love was Zira's laugh when he'd tried to pronounce her native language. Love was the way she'd held his hand during the bombing of Station 12, whispering that they'd survive together. They hadn't. A knock on the workshop door pulled Leo from his spiral. He wiped his face, when had he started crying, and called out, "It's open." The door hissed apart, revealing a woman Leo didn't recognize. She was human, or mostly human, with an official-looking datapad clutched in her hands and an expression that walked the line between professional and pitying. "Leo Castellan?" she asked, though her tone suggested she already knew. "That's me. If this is about the Davidson job, the parts haven't arrived yet from... I'm Anna Chen, with the Interspecies Refugee Commission." She stepped inside, and Leo noticed 2 small figures hiding behind her legs. Children. "Mr. Castellan, I need to speak with you about your wife, Zira." Leo's heart stopped, then restarted with a painful thud. "Zira's dead. She died when the Krell fleet attacked Outpost Meridian. I was there. I saw the... You saw the medical facility collapse," Anna interrupted gently. "But you didn't see her body." The workshop suddenly felt too small, the walls pressing in. "What are you saying?" Anna glanced down at the children still hiding behind her. Leo followed her gaze and felt his breath catch. They were small, perhaps 5 or 6 standard years old. "And their skin?" It was a pale lavender, a perfect blend of human pink and Xython blue. During the attack, the medical staff evacuated the maternity ward first. Anna explained, her voice soft but steady. "Zira was 8 months pregnant, Mr. Castellan, with twins." The world tilted. Leo gripped the workbench to stay upright. "Pregnant? But we never... The gestation period for human Xython hybrids is different, shorter. The pregnancy probably lasted only 5 months from conception." Anna's professional mask cracked slightly, revealing genuine sympathy. "The medical records were destroyed in the attack. By the time the commission tracked down the survivors, Zira had already given birth. She made the staff promise not to contact you until she was certain she'd survive." "Where is she?" Leo's voice cracked. "Where's Zira?" Anna's expression gave him the answer before her words did. "She developed complications 3 weeks after the birth. Her body... The pregnancy taxed her system too much. The hybrid genetics, the stress of the war, the lack of proper medical facilities. I'm so sorry, Mr. Castellan. She passed away 2 years ago." Leo felt the grief hit him like a physical blow, a fresh wound tearing open the barely healed scar. Zira had survived the attack, had lived for another year, had given birth to their children. And he'd never known, never got to hold her hand, never got to say goodbye. Why, he swallowed hard. "Why are you telling me this now?" Anna gently pushed the 2 children forward. They emerged from behind her reluctantly, holding hands, their large eyes, Zira's eyes. Leo realized with a jolt, watching him with a mixture of fear and curiosity. "Because these are your children," Anna said simply. Zira named them before she died. "This is Arya and Orion, and they need their father." Leo stared at them. These impossible children, these living proof that love could create miracles even in the darkest times. The girl, Arya, had his brown hair, but it shimmered with an opalescent sheen. The boy, Orion, had Zira's delicate features, but with human warmth in his cheeks. "We're not supposed to exist," Arya said suddenly, her voice small but clear. "That's what the other kids say. They say humans and Xython can't have babies." "They say we're freaks," Orion added, but there was defiance in his tone. Like Mommy was wrong for loving Daddy. The word hit Leo like a starship at full thrust. Daddy. They were calling him Daddy, and they didn't even know him. He dropped to his knees, bringing himself to their eye level. Up close he could see so much of Zira in them, the slight luminescence of their skin, the graceful way they held themselves, the kindness in their gaze. But he could see himself too. Orion had his stubborn chin. Arya had the same scar pattern on her left hand that Leo had, a genetic marker he'd inherited from his own father. "The other kids are wrong," Leo said, his voice rough with emotion. "You're not freaks. You're miracles. You're proof that different species can create something beautiful together. You're proof that love is stronger than war, stronger than prejudice, stronger than death itself." Arya's lower lip trembled. "Mommy said you fix things. She said you could fix anything if you tried hard enough. She said you'd know what to do," Orion whispered. Leo felt tears streaming down his face, but he didn't care. He opened his arms, a question, an invitation. For a moment, the twins hesitated. Then Arya stepped forward, tentative, and wrapped her small arms around his neck. Orion followed a heartbeat later. They felt real. They felt warm. They felt like home. "I don't know if I can fix this," Leo admitted, holding them close. "I don't know how to be a father. I don't know anything about raising kids, especially kids like you. But I know your mother loved you more than anything, and I know I'm going to love you just as much." Anna watched from the doorway, smiling through her own tears. There's a lot to discuss. Legal guardianship, educational needs, medical care for their unique biology. The commission can help with resources, but they need a home, Leo finished. He looked around his workshop, seeing it with new eyes. It was cluttered, covered in grease and spare parts, entirely unsuitable for children. It was perfect. "We'll figure it out. Together." Orion pulled back slightly, studying Leo's face with Zira's intense curiosity. "Are you really our daddy?" Leo thought about Zira, about the life they'd planned and lost, about the second chance fate had impossibly granted him. He thought about humanity's greatest strength, not their weapons or their ships, but their ability to love across boundaries, to adapt, to survive, to build families from the ashes of war. "Yes," he said firmly, "I'm really your daddy, and I'm never letting you go." Arya smiled then, a brilliant expression that lit up her luminescent skin. "Good. Because Mommy said you give the best hugs in the galaxy." Leo laughed, a sound he hadn't made in 3 years, and pulled them both close again. Outside, the stars continued their endless dance. The war raged on in distant systems. The galaxy remained vast and often cruel, but in a converted cargo bay workshop, a widowed human mechanic held 2 impossible children and remembered why humanity never gave up. Because even when everything seemed lost, even when grief felt insurmountable, there was always a reason to keep fighting. There was always family, there was always love, and for Leo, for Arya, for Orion, that was more than enough.